I'm Michael. Welcome to today's class. Love has forever been a subject of curiosity, debate, and mystery. It has humans of all ages and backgrounds arguing its meaning and role in our lives. From soap operas to romance movies and novels, humans seek to express what they believe true love to be. But what exactly is love?
People so busy, make me feel dizzy. Taxi lights shine so bright.
We're going to talk about 4 things in today's lesson. First, what are the biological effects of falling in love? Second, what is the psychology of falling in love? Third, what are philosophical views on love? And fourth, what does Buddhism say about love?
Every day I look at the world from my window.
First, let's examine what happens in our brain when we are in love. When in love, our brain releases neurotransmitters. One key neurotransmitter, dopamine, plays an essential role in attraction. Dopamine affects our emotions, thoughts, decision-making, and hormones. This neurotransmitter is highly active when a person is in love. Studies show that a decrease in dopamine can cause depression. On the other hand, an increase in dopamine is associated with feelings of excitement, even to the extreme. By looking at this contrast, we can begin to understand one's bizarre behavior when they are in love or lose their love. When someone falls in love, they want to spend every moment with that person. However, when someone goes through heartbreak, it can often be difficult for them to face each day, and life can lose meaning. This strange behavior makes more sense when one examines dopamine's other role in the brain, addiction. Dopamine signals pleasure in the brain. This signal prompts people to continue seeking the substance they are addicted to. So, it's no wonder that people who fall in love can be physically addicted to each other. While dopamine does play an enormous role in the brain regarding love, there are other changes in the brain when a person is in love. One study helps demonstrate this. The study was done on couples who described themselves as intensely in love. Their brains were scanned by an MRI when they looked at a picture of their love. The researchers saw a glow in several sections of the lover's brain. This glow represented increased blood flow to those areas. These parts of the brain are responsible for motivation and reward. When these areas are activated, the person feels good. This is because dopamine is being released by these areas. As couples spend more time together in the early stages of their relationship, more neurotransmitters are subsequently released. The more neurotransmitters that are released, the more the couples want to spend time together. This is the cycle, which leads to an addiction to one's love. Dopamine is not the only neurotransmitter that affects love. 2 other key neurotransmitters are norepinephrine and PEA. Both of these lead to focused attention. Individuals start to zero in on the person they desire, and at the same time, they often have a feeling of extreme happiness. Have you ever experienced love at first sight? You can thank these neurotransmitters for that feeling. These neurotransmitters also enable someone to notice and remember even the smallest details about their partners. If the relationship ends, PEA levels drop. This is partly responsible for the feelings of depression that can be experienced after breaking up. We have just finished talking about biological aspects of love. Now, let's look at love from a psychological view. While love may seem like an abstract concept, many psychologists have done studies on it. From these studies, several theories on love have consequently evolved. The psychology of love cannot be discussed without mentioning Sigmund Freud, one of the major forefathers of psychology. Freud believed in and coined the phrases Oedipus complex and Electra complex. This scientific opinion says that young boys are sexually attracted to their mothers and want to kill their fathers in order to have their mothers all to themselves. Furthermore, young girls desire their fathers and want to eliminate their mothers to be with their fathers. When children are rejected by their parents, they seek out others for their love and affection. From Freud, one can conclude that we search for a partner that reminds us of our mother or father. We may model our marriage on moms. Or maybe we will unconsciously decide that since dad is a good parent, then a man who looks like him will be also. This idea may be disturbing. However, many psychologists conclude that this attraction is limited to general resemblances. By knowing the relationship between childhood associations of love and how we pick a mate, one can examine how this love influences adult behavior. Keep in mind, this is only one perspective on love, and it is still up for debate. Now, let's further examine Freud's ideas on love by creating a hypothetical situation. Imagine a couple having a fight over whose turn it is to do the laundry. If this couple has not learned how to communicate effectively, there might be name-calling. Perhaps they will give each other the cold shoulder. The fight could even include issues that have nothing to do with the laundry. What would cause grown adults to act in such a childish way? Freud states that when lovers act irrationally, they're actually going back to the needs, insecurities, and obsessions of childhood. Another famous psychologist who studied love was Abraham Maslow. Maslow is considered to be the father of humanistic psychology. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, humans are active rather than passive participants in life. Contrary to Freud's theory, Maslow states that adults make active choices in their lives rather than subconscious ones. Maslow's hierarchy is a pyramid, with the most basic needs at the bottom and the human needs on the top. From bottom to top, the categories include physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging needs, followed by additional human needs. Viewing the hierarchy, it is not hard to understand how his theory is so crucial to the idea of love. Besides physiological needs, Safety needs are another basic requirement. This includes physical safety, as well as stability, structure, and order. This is one of the reasons why many couples don't get divorced. If they do, the structure and stability of their lives will be lost. Think of how often women say, "I wish I could leave him, but I need to take care of the children." On a positive note, the security from being in a relationship can strengthen the feeling of love. It helps protect one from loneliness. Many articles are frequently published, especially around the holidays, on how to survive being single. Couples in love don't have to worry about how society will view them, since they have the security from being a couple. And indeed, commercials definitely prey on this feeling. One jewelry company has a commercial which airs during each holiday season. In this commercial, a woman is sitting in a chair holding her child. The husband approaches her with a box in his hand containing jewelry. The next shot shows the woman accepting the jewelry, gazing at her husband with love. From a psychological viewpoint, this commercial fits perfectly into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The woman's physiological needs are met, since she is resting comfortably with her child. She feels safe and secure, and her love and belonging needs are also met. She feels her husband's love, plus she has a sense of belonging in the family. This is one clear example of Maslow's hierarchy being represented in the media. Feeling alone can be one of the most devastating feelings. Take couples who have been together for many years, for example. When one spouse dies, the remaining spouse often joins them in death. This could be because both partners were old. However, it can also be due to the feeling that one simply cannot live without their love. It's almost beautiful to think about, to love someone so deeply that you just cannot imagine living without them. The last psychologist we will talk about is B.F. Skinner. Skinner was a behavioral theorist known for his theory of instrumental conditioning. Instrumental conditioning means behaviors are learned through consequences. The idea of instrumental conditioning can accurately be applied to the idea of love. Instrumental conditioning is mainly associated with the reward-punishment concept. The reward can be either positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement. Love is the ultimate positive reinforcement. Historically, courting basically works on the same principle as Skinner's positive reinforcement. For example, when a man likes a woman, he will buy her gifts, call often, and take her out on fancy dates. In return, the woman recognizes him as a potential provider, making her more affectionate towards him. He takes this affection as being a positive reward, and in turn will continue his pursuit of her. Well, that's enough about psychological views on love. So now, let's talk about philosophical views. If romantic love has a purpose, neither psychology nor biology has discovered it. However, throughout history, philosophers have offered opinions about it. Take Plato, for example. Let's look at what our course says about him. The Greek philosopher Plato said love makes us complete. He relates a comic story in which humans originally had 4 arms, 4 legs, and 2 faces. Then, when they angered the gods, they were cut in half. Since then, every person has been searching for their soulmate, the other half of his or herself. Plato believed that the soul was separate from the body. He believed we must recognize that the soul does not depend on the body for its functioning. In addition, Plato said that our souls existed before our bodies. Plato's idea that there is a soulmate somewhere for everyone keeps us forever searching for love. We are taught from the very beginning that love is real, our soulmates exist somewhere, and ultimately we will find them. Perhaps many couples stay together because of Plato's idea of being soulmates. When couples get married, many of them feel that they have found their soulmates. They make a promise to each other to make the marriage work and grow. By getting a divorce, the couple not only has to admit defeat to themselves, but also break their promise. They have to admit that the person they married is not their soulmate. This can be terrifying because they need to go back into the world of dating. Some of these people may have faith that they will find their true love and carry on searching, while others may fall in love with someone else who is actually not right for them. All of this work is done in search of a soulmate. A more modern philosopher, Michael Boylan, has a different perspective. He believes the essence of love is not just about finding your soulmate, it also allows one to be good. His belief is that love is an action, and this concept leads us to change and grow as individuals. From this, one can conclude that when someone finds their soulmate, they will become a better person. A famous French writer, Simone de Beauvoir, has another point of view. For her, love is the desire to integrate with another, like in a great friendship. However, lovers should not become too dependent on one another. This can lead to boredom within the relationship or a struggle for power. Instead, lovers should support each other in discovering themselves and developing their potentials. Another philosopher believed that love is an illusion. In his view, people fall in love because they believe having a mate will make them happy. But in fact, this is just a biological trick, only to make us have children. Once we have children, we are right back to where we started. This is obviously what nature intends, since we have children to preserve our species. But in the end, it leaves us still searching for more. That's enough for philosophical views on love. Let's move on to Buddhism's understanding of love. Buddhism has a very different understanding of love than what most of us may be used to. Let's look at what our course says about this. In Buddhism, romantic love is seen as an attempt to satisfy our desires. These desires are a defect, something we need to overcome. Desires and attachments to things of any kind can only lead to suffering. Buddhism teaches independence through non-attachment. Non-attachment is the idea that a person cannot be attached to any one thing in order to be truly happy. This is because this thing can cause suffering. According to Buddhist teachings, one must reject all things that can cause pain. This idea refers to objects in a spiritual sense, rather than those in the physical sense. In a relationship, one must forget the idea of a perfect partner. They should not hold their partner to an impossible standard. Rather, one must accept their partner for who they are no matter what, even if they change. This is the key to a successful romantic relationship. Now, let's quickly review what we discussed. First, we talked about the biological effects of love, especially the effects of neurotransmitters. Second, we discussed theories on love from different psychologists. Third, we discussed philosophical views on love and the idea of a soulmate. And fourth, we talked about love according to Buddhism. So, when you first fell in love, how did you feel? Do the feelings of the neurotransmitters we describe sound familiar? Which psychologist do you think has the most accurate view on love? Why?
Dirty old river, must you keep rolling, rolling into the night?
What about philosophy? Do you believe everyone has a soulmate? And for Buddhism, do you agree or disagree with these teachings on love? So, overall, do answers about love lie in biology, psychology, philosophy, or religion? Perhaps it's a combination of all of these. Or none of them? I will leave it up to you to decide. One thing is for certain. While we can study and speculate on love, in the end, it still remains a mystery.